have come a long way in the past 100 years, but the world still is not equal when it comes to healthcare, education, and gender equality in the workplace, which is why as women, we need to be engaged. Perrysburg native Rachel Pearson founded Engage. It's a nonprofit organization promoting women's economic security. She joins us this morning now from her office in Washington, D.C. So Rachel, from Northwest Ohio, but making big strides there in D.C.
Thank you for having me, Amanda. Yes, proudly from Northwest Ohio. I founded Engage in November of 18. I was incredibly frustrated by the gridlock in Washington and really struck by the fact that however much progress women had made in their economic lives, there was still much work to be done and that it didn't seem to be at the top of the agenda for lawmakers.
So what is it that you do with Engage and what have you accomplished?
Well, Engage is rooted in the truth that women outnumber, outvote, and outlive men. So the first thing we're trying to do is really educate women about that reality, to let that sink in, that women are the deciders of elections, that we do have the power if we will engage. We are the people that can make the change. So we're asking women to consider that, and we're asking women to consider that we will accomplish more together than we will if we are divided in a hyper-partisan way, and to think about their economic lives as a thread. And more often than not, at every step of a woman's life, she's taking a step back or two steps back rather than staying equal with her male counterparts, which so often leads to the astounding numbers of women that are retiring into poverty in this country.
I think it's a very fitting message today. It is election day as we get out there. And as you mentioned, women, they make those decisions and vote. And so we need to be engaged and continue moving forward in trying to gain that equality. As they say, it's usually around this time of year that women stop getting paid, in terms of their male counterparts. So you had a summit recently, a couple weeks ago. Tell me a little bit about that.
We did. We held a two-day summit in Washington, which was the first event that Engage was able to have post-COVID. Over 200 women. We covered topics, everything from working women during COVID to flexibility to Black maternal health to conservatives and climate change. Some highlights for me were at luncheon. Our luncheon speaker was the first NFL female coach, our first female coach in the NFL for the Arizona Cardinals, and we had the Youth Poet Laureate, a remarkable Vietnamese young woman from Sacramento, California. But we were talking about issues around economic security, making differences throughout the day, because women aren't a monolith, whether you're a white woman or a Black woman or an Asian woman or a Latino woman, making those distinctions throughout the day of what your economic life looks like, and inspiring women, hopefully, to feel their power in impacting lawmakers.
So you were from Northwest Ohio, Perrysburg. What made you say, you know what, I need to make this move. I need to get to Washington to work on this?
It actually has everything to do with it, Amanda. I was profoundly impacted by what I learned in my first jobs in Ohio politics. I was blessed to work for newly elected Governor George Voinovich in a Lucas County government office building when he opened a Northwest Ohio development office. The way that he worked with the congressional leadership, the mayors in the Northwest region for economic development for Northwest Ohio had everything to do with framing the way I think that government should function, and inspired me to go to Washington. And I've been trying, I guess you could say, to replicate that functionality and the spirit of those things that I learned early on my entire career, which has led to this point.
Well, we appreciate your work. What can women right now, today, even do that can help push this mission of Engage forward?
Well, first, check us out at engagewomen.org. Have a look at what's on our website. Please sign up. Everything is for free. Also, vote today if you can, and start thinking about those issues that you care about. related to your economic security. Listen, most members of Congress are really good people, but they have one thing that's important to them. On election day, it's important to say they want to get reelected. So they need to respond to with what you are thinking about and what's important to you. And we need to drive that conversation and come together to exercise our power. So again, check us out at engagewomen.org, and let's start a new women's movement for the 21st century.
Sounds good. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.